Welcome everyone to this beautiful start of the day in Africa, all the way from the Greater Kruger National Park. This is Safari Live.
Ready. Standing by.
You are live.
Good morning. What an unusual start to the Safari Live broadcast. We are coming to you from a hot air balloon, no less, suspended above the Masai Mara here in Kenya. It's a wonderful morning, and my name is James Henry, and I'm going to be talking to you from this balloon probably only for the next 5 minutes or so. Hashtag Safari Live, ask your questions, send your comments. It's wonderful to have you with us here floating over the world's most romantic wilderness area. Taylor is out on drive, as many of you would have seen in the pre-show. I'm not sure who else is driving today, but they will take you through the thrills of Djuma very shortly after we have experienced this floating sensation above the Masai Mara. Senzo is on camera in the balloon. I am suspended in migration control some 1,000 feet above the valley floor that you're looking at now. And it is on these short grass plains, of course, that the great wildebeest migration is about to descend. There are many of them down to the south, a herd of about 100 or 200,000 or so, and shortly they will be up here in the northern sections of the Mara Triangle. It's a wonderful day here in Kenya, probably about 16 and 61 or so, 16 degrees Celsius, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. It was a bit chillier earlier on, but the sun is now up behind those clouds. We had a lot of rain last night, and it's, well, just a very special morning and a very special thing to be bringing you this kind of view of the Masai Mara. You can see all the balloons up there, and we're flying with a group called Governor's Balloon Safaris, who have very kindly put up with our necessities and our needs, and they're helping us to bring you these iconic pictures of this spectacular landscape. There's a buffalo bull. He's wandering off to the right-hand side, thinks he's going to hide behind that very small bush. I don't think he's going to be very successful though. Now the buffalo here are, well, they're very large in comparison with the ones at Djuma. Not mass-wise, I don't think, but certainly their horns tend to be a lot wider. Massive expanse of land that we're exploring here, and you can see the knoll there just to the right hand side of that escarpment. That's pretty much where I'm sitting now. Now we're hoping, of course, for some kind of animal activity, and before we have to leave you, the balloon will land probably in the next 5 minutes or so. It looks like a topi coming up. No, is it a topi? I don't know. Let's just keep enjoying this scene for the next little while. There you can see the sun touching the far horizon, and there a very large herd of zebra, and of course some topi. My favourite antelope for this area. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's probably just their colours. They are, of course, also very fast. There's something appealing about something that's very fast. Sharon, you want to know how high I am right now, and do I know? I know that I'm about 1,000 feet above the valley floor. I'm not sure how high Senzo is. This balloon goes up to about 1,000 feet, and I think they're probably about, I'd say about a quarter of that now, probably about 250 feet above the ground or so. So not very high. And you can see, just as everywhere else in Africa, the zebra are feeding around the termite mounds, because that is where the grass is most nutritious. Now you will see them running off from time to time, especially when they have to blow the burners. It does make the animals a little bit nervous, but because it's so fleeting, it doesn't worry me too much. So the balloon flies over the top of them, and then they just carry on with their lives as they would normally. You can see the sky starting to turn blue. It was very grey this morning, very dim and dull, and now it's turning a lovely shade of blue. You can see very flat, not the undulating topography of the Sabi sand in Djuma, which you're shortly to be driving over with Taylor and whoever else is out today. I'm not sure if it's Tristan or Ali. Yeah, and John, you say the animal tracks through the grass here are like the Mara's nervous system. They do look like the Mara's nervous system, don't they? And I suppose in some respects they must be thought of as such. Yeah, that's very true. And there you can see the sun's rays just streaming through the clouds there. There's a vehicle track, and you'll notice, I think the big difference between doing this in a balloon and the drone shots that we've had of Djuma, for example, is the difference in the vegetation. You can see why this grassland supports such a vast number of animals. If you fly above Djuma, even in summertime, in the drones when it's green, you will always see gaps between the grass. The clumps of grass do not come anything like or knit anything like as closely together as the clumps of grass do here. That's of course because the soil here is much less ancient. Now that sounds a bit ridiculous, but there's been so much more recent, relatively recent volcanic activity in this area, covering the area in ash, and of course that makes the soil that much more fertile, and that's why it is so much thicker and why the soil is so much more fertile. Whereas at Djuma, of course, that low-felt region is so ancient, those soils are so ancient, so much of the nutrients that it once held has been leached out by, well, countless millennia of rain. And that's why there is a difference, of course, in the amount of grass that there is. All right, everybody, we're going to say goodbye to you from the Mara. I'm not sure when we will see you again from here. It will be relatively soon. Remember, of course, the Earth Live broadcast coming to you from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. I think that's right. Yes, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning. That's East African time, and that will be on, well, Monday morning, this side here. Okay, we're going to hand you over to Ali in the Sabi Sands. I hope you have a wonderful safari there in the beautiful low-felt winter, and we'll see you next time.
We have started the morning with a very friendly and noisy bird, the white-crested helmet shrikes. Now, I'm sure you can hear them all around. They sound like a little spring to me. All of them flying around there into the bushes. I think we've been trying to follow them for a while, but they keep flying away. Hello, guys. Very nice little flock of all of them together enjoying the day. My name is Ali, and on camera with me today is Seb. And I believe today is a very frozen version of ourselves because we are very cold. The weather today is 12 degrees Celsius and 53 Fahrenheit, if I'm not mistaken. And here we are trying to look for pretty much anything in this cold, chilly morning. If you've got any questions or comments, send them through using the hashtag #SafariLive because we love to hear from all of you. Now, we would really like to see wild ducks, but we realistically know that we've got pretty much no hope, as they haven't been seen around lately, or at least not that we are aware of. So we were thinking maybe to come and look for buffalo. There was apparently one buffalo seen on this road somewhere yesterday, so it was as good a place as any to start. See if maybe we got lucky and saw one of Djuma's most elusive creatures, the buffalo, because they definitely haven't been around. Alright. Cool day today. Like we said, I think it's the first time that we started out driving, we were all freezing, and I fully blame Taylor for this. And the reason for it is because she jinxed the coffee delivery yesterday morning. She was making fun of me because I drink so much coffee, and she was like, Ali, what would you do one day if there's no coffee? And I just said to her, that cannot happen. That would be my worst day ever. And then last night she came to me with a very serious face, and she was just looking at me as like, I feel like I should break this news to you. And I was like, well, what happened? What's wrong? They forgot the coffee. So we didn't get a coffee delivery. All of our camp is coffeeless. So we're all very sad about it. But like I said, I blame Taylor. She jinxed it. I don't know how she did it. So we had to go to tea. Alright, let's go over to the Jinxer and see what she's got to say about this morning's start.
Good morning everybody again and welcome to Safari Live. My name is Taylor. Camera with me. We're going to find all sorts of animals. Like I said in the pre-show, it was fairly quiet out here in the bush. Not much going on. Now Ellie. Telling campfire stories again, I see. But yes, Sam, I do feel a bit bad because I know Ali has got a great love for coffee. And yesterday I actually thought that I would joke with her and say that there isn't any. And then that joke turned out not to be a joke. And I felt absolutely terrible last night having to tell her that she can't have that. So she had to have Milo instead. So Milo is like, it's like a hot, not quite hot chocolate. It's not quite something like Horlicks, but it's delicious. It's so nice. I don't actually even know how to describe Milo, but it's wonderful. South Africans love to drink it. So yeah, so she had to have one of those. I, however, had 2 cups of coffee, but I had to resort to instant coffee. Oh, terrible. But yes, and then we had no electricity. We don't know what happened. So we had the generator on, then we couldn't boil the kettle. So I now know why, and you have to excuse Ali today if she's a little bit on the grumpy side. But don't tell her I said that. It's because she hasn't had her proper coffee fix. But we'll get her some coffee later today, and then she'll be all fine and perky for this afternoon's safari. But we're bumbling about. We're still on, we just actually turned on to Gari Main. We haven't really seen much. We did have a set of male lion tracks that came out of Vuyatela and then crossed into the west. But they didn't look very fresh. It seemed like quite early this morning. That maybe is the lion that I heard calling around. And then I was just listening to the radio. Lex said he just heard a lion but calling quite far into Buffelshoek, so they're going in to follow up on that. And maybe whoever is calling is on its way south and will come onto our traverse. But we're going to do a complete southwestern boundary patrol right now and see if we can pick up any leopards. So we'll also go past the Mulwati. Maybe we'll do a little drive about on Chitwa, have a little scan around there. I'm going to show you the sunrise. I'm just trying to find a nice gap because it's quite pretty. You might get a gap just up ahead. Let me see if I can find a spot. Now remember, this is live and interactive, so if you do have any questions for us, we'd love to hear from you. And you can hashtag Safari Live. Oh wow, okay, we're going to get a good one. You've just got to be a little bit patient because it's quite a far drive. There's another set of male lion tracks going all the way down here. So I think he must have come down this way, come from the south, crossed into Vuyatela, done a shortcut, and then popped out back on Triple M and then crossed further west. Almost there. I think once we get past these little shrubs, we should have a view of the skyline. Sometimes things look really beautiful with the eye, but don't always come out as great on camera, and it's something that I've always tried in video because I love the distorted look you get when you look behind all of the bush willows and the sun is just behind it. It's so beautiful, but you can't really see it as well on camera. But here we go. Oh no, we have a car behind us. Okay, hang on, sorry. Let's move. Let's go up here and let's have a look at the sunrise. It's spectacular. It is a bright orange color this morning. I can already hear some magpie shrikes calling. For once it's not the turtle doves that are the first ones to be shouting about. Can you believe it? They're actually fairly silent this morning. There was also an emerald spotted wood dove calling in the very far distance. Toot, 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 toot. That's always a very pretty call to hear. Isn't that lovely? Now come on, sun, rise up as quick as you can because we are all cold. Even the impala just down below are looking a little bit on the chilly side. Look how fluffed up they all are. They look like giant teddy bears today. And that's of course because they're also just trying to keep warm. But that's not going to stop them from eating. They're going to continue munching away even if they are cold. Now I start to hear some francolins, crested francolins. There's babblers. But no soaring leopards, no roaring lions, no whooping hyenas. They might be taking the day off today. What day is it today, Megan? I actually don't even know. I don't even know what the date is, to be honest. Thursday. No, it's Thursday in South Africa. Okay. Right, let's keep going. Let's see what else we can find. We're going to have to do a couple of different challenges, I think. Oh, let's make sure we don't reverse into anything. Right. Go down here, no cars. Check left, check right. Nope, not going to be driven into. Okay, so that's where the Impala came from. They came from the side and then they crossed the road. Just looking at their footprints. What else have we got here? Okay, well, I'm going to keep scanning around here and keep searching. Hopefully I'll come up with an animal for you. I'm going to send you across to Ali, who seems to be doing a little bit of tracking herself.
Well, we do. We had some lion tracks around the road, but we carried on driving just to see if perhaps it had done a bit of a loop around. But we have lost the track, so I'm double tracking ourselves, see if perhaps the lions go in this general direction. But I wonder if it's not perhaps the same male that Taylor had crossing south to Arethusa a little while earlier on. So I just want to re-find these tracks because now I have lost them. As we carried on driving, just to try and figure out where they were headed off to, and then hopefully maybe be able to see something or start tracking this animal. The tracks seem to be for one male and very, very quiet. I wish it would roar. That would make it a lot easier, and of course I love the roar of the lion. Now here, okay, it's a bit of a tricky one, but let me show you what I'm looking at. Because I think this is probably the best track that there is around here that we have been able to find. Woo. Cold, cold, cold. Alright. Now here's a big track for the lion. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 toes here, and then of course the back pad, very, very big track. So just because it's also on its own, it would be a good indication that it's a male. So the track is about this big, up to where my finger is over here. But what it's interesting is that the lion was actually sitting down here, because we can see the contour of the rest of the leg or the paw when he was sitting like this, and then the rest of the body was around here, the big side over here, and then what seems to be the tail over here. So we had a lion that was sitting down and gazing in that direction, slightly towards the eastern side. Now I see the other track was around here, and then another one that's here as well, and he carries on going over there. I thought maybe it had used this path to go all the way down, but it seems like maybe not. I think we're going to have to change our route and just perhaps start walking around a little bit more. Sorry, I want to see if maybe there are more tracks here that I missed. Becomes a bit tricky, but I think maybe your best bet is to go towards Treehouse Dam in that area, see if perhaps we can pick up more tracks in that general direction. Good. Maybe Taylor's good cat feeling that she had yesterday is also coming into play. Michael, you're wondering what the updates on the Birmingham boys is. Well, I think 2 of them have been on Little Gowrie / Hoffman's the last few weeks, as far as I know, or well, maybe the last few weeks is too long, but the last few days. And I think there was one that was seen with the Torchwood Pride recently, and the other one I'm not too sure. I'm missing one. But they all have been accounted for in different properties, so they are still around. Just, however, not on Djuma. Now, I want to find you, little kitty. Where have you gone? And we're definitely gonna start driving along here and move towards the general area, see if perhaps we can find it before it moves too far. There were reports of a lion roaring far east from where we are, so roughly in that pretty much general direction. And lions can walk quite a lot, so I think these tracks were from sometime during the night, so hopefully we'll be able to catch up and it won't be the one that's on the other side already. Maybe some more tracks here, no? Alright, I think this thing has carried on walking. So we'll be able to have a look. I want to stop at the junction that's coming up in a little while and see if perhaps there's anything there. I think there was another track in front of us. Good, so we're still going in the right direction now. Got a bit scared earlier that perhaps we had missed something. Alright, this is clearly where we turned around. Beautiful little birds are all starting to fly. It's definitely feeling a lot warmer today. Oh, well, not today, but for now. The day is still young to determine. Now, I think yesterday I had a bit of a neck pain, and I think it's because we normally drive like this with half our head sticking out. It's very convenient that these cars don't have doors because it makes it a lot easier to just pick up on tracks and look on the side of your vehicle for anything that might indicate that what you're looking for has been walking around here. Now, Natalie, you're wondering if the arrangement of paws and hooves is unique as a fingerprint. For elephants, it's very widely recognized that it is. So when an elephant steps, it's got so many grooves and little things in the middle of its, or on the sole of its foot, that you are actually able to recognize individuals just by looking at those prints and recognizing what is there. With other animals, like perhaps lions, leopards, hyenas, it becomes a bit trickier and a bit more difficult. Sorry, this is Taylor looking for me, standing by. They're on Philemon's gut line heading east, so I think maybe I'm gonna go check around Treehouse Dam, Weaver's Nest, that area. Okay, copy. Do you want me to then go on to Twin Dams? Yeah, likely they are, because roughly they're heading in that direction. So if you're going to carry on with the cut line, then I'm going to start moving into that area. Have a look. Thank you. Right, well, it seems like Taylor has managed to find some more lion tracks that are coming into Djuma, close to Twin Dams. So she wants to carry on checking just to make sure that there are no other things that she's missed over there, but we are roughly going to head in that direction, see if perhaps we can pick up on these lions, because she says she had tracks for a male and a female. So likely they are there. That was sort of our intended plan. So I think maybe it's good that Taylor has done a boundary patrol this morning. I feel maybe she's also acting like a little shark, patrolling around Djuma and just making sure that we're not missing anything going in or going out. So thanks to Taylor, we know where to start looking again now for the next part of this tracking session. And we'll see. Sorry, April, you've got a question about Megs, how fast they walk. Yeah, I'm not copying that. So you're wondering, April, if we can tell how far they walked just by looking at the tracks on the road. Well, sometimes we can, if we manage to find all the tracks and just see. If we manage to find them for quite a while, then we'll be able to get a rough idea. But if we come across a set of tracks, I'm not able to tell you, like the ones we hear, oh, it's come from this particular area or it's walked so much. Just by following them and seeing how much they have walked while we track them, then that's how we're able to judge the distance. Now, we are at a junction here, so I just want to maybe see if there are no tracks that might indicate which way we should be going. I think Weaver's Nest, though, it's going to be the one. Can't see any tracks around here. Alright, let's carry on down Weaver's Nest, see if perhaps we can pick up on anything over there. If not, we'll come back over here. Hopefully you will see one of the Birmingham boys. I know we haven't seen them for quite a while. Was that a track? No. Oh, beautiful. Look how wonderful this grass next to us looks now that the sun is starting to come up and it's starting to cast its beautiful glowing light on everything. It is a beautiful morning. Great day to be alive. Alrighty. Michael, you're wondering if the coldness of winter if allows the Birmingham boys to patrol more during the night than they would during the summertime. I think it would. They also during the night and now in winter, because it's so cold, whenever they start calling, then the sound will travel much further away when they roar. And because the night is a bit longer in winter rather than in summer, then they have more time to move around that they would do in the summertime, because it gets too hot too quick. just want to have a look. James, you're wondering which lion pride I have or coalition I have spent most of my time with. Yes, beautiful lion truck all the way here. Hello. There they are.
I was trying to play a trivia. I'm going to the west for those other ones.
Which ones are that ones? The sticks?
Sticks at the Birmingham.
How many? Alright, well we know some of the Birminghams are with the sticks in Arethusa. And well spotted. So we've got the tracks here going in this direction. Alright, definitely going straight north. So I wonder if they came for a drink at the pan. Just want to turn around and see if maybe they didn't come somewhere in this general direction, because there was definitely nothing going up onto the main road. So let's just go and have a bit of a look. And perhaps there's something up there. I have seen those lions enjoy the wall earlier on. Okay, seems like Taylor has managed to find herself a new feathery friend, so let's go over to her while I figure out where these tracks are going.
If you look very, very carefully, you can see some red-faced mouse birds sitting at the top of this marula tree. Now they're warming themselves up quite a bit. Oh, I'm just checking. No, they're talking about some tracks, but it's got nothing to do with us. So this might be a nice new bird for some of you. I don't know if you've ever seen mouse birds before. It is difficult to try and get them on camera. They they don't sit still for very, very long. But they're beautiful. Oh, there they go. Flying in a squadron. Off they go, just into the distance. Very, very long bird, which is where they sort of get that name from, the mouse bird. And quite nice. And they also sit on the tops of the trees, but they actually sit on the tops of the trees for a different reason. They do also warm themselves up, but because they are specialist fruit eaters, they're frugivores, by sitting in the sun and presenting your belly to the sun, it can actually help speed up the digestive process of all the fruit that they're feeding on, which is quite cool. Now, as we just stopped here, we're on the airstrip. I thought that we were maybe going to hear that kudu alarming still, but it's gone fairly quiet. So I just want to check around here and see if we can't see anything. But I haven't even seen a nyala or any kudu around here, and typically this spot is littered with those animals. Well, not littered, litter is a bad word. There's just many of them. Who's got the impala? Or you're a little, no you're not, you're a little steenbok. It was a juvenile impala. Just go right to the end of the airstrip. I haven't picked up on any predator tracks just yet. And I don't think we're going to be able to go to the dam either. It sounds like there are guests that didn't go out on safari. They're sleeping, which is a little bit sad for us. Maybe we'll get a chance to go there this evening. Let's check. And just sit quietly again and listen and see if we can hear anything. Ooh, very squeaky brakes today, I don't know why. No alarm calls, just the beautiful sound of all the birds singing this morning. Very quiet. Okay, so there's nothing here. We'll do a couple of loops around though and see if we can pick up on anything. I'm just also starting to think that kudu may have just been off of the property, maybe just further south of where we can drive. Oh no, let's hope we have some cats this morning. Come on, Ellie, track your heart out. Hopefully she'll be able to pull something through, but we'll check here anyways. Now, James, you're wondering which lion coalition have I spent the most time with? If we're just talking about in the sands, it's probably going to be the Charleston males and the Four Ways males. I spent quite a bit of time with them, and that was quite cool. The Charleston males came in as the underdogs. I remember seeing them when I first started working in the sand. They were horrible looking things. They were small, and they would just sneak around on the property. The Charlestons were beautiful, a little bit older than them. They had big dark manes. They were quite large in body size. They were very pretty. One had orange eyes. He was so beautiful, and he also had the deepest roar of any lion that I've ever heard in my entire life. So it was quite nice. I loved the four-ways males. I was actually devastated when the Charlestons came through, and it was an interesting takeover because there was no battle. It sort of happened over 2 days. We started seeing the four-ways males. They had their noses down on the ground. You could see something had panicked them slightly. They were moving about, looking for obviously the Charleston males. And the Charleston males were vocalizing, then the four-ways males would vocalize. And the next minute, they were just gone. We never saw the four-ways males ever again. It was crazy. And then the Charlestons stayed on the property, and I wonder if it wasn't because one of the four-ways males was injured. I don't know if it was from a fight, but he'd been injured for a couple of days, but they were taking down lots and lots of buffalo at that time, so it could have been an injury sustained then. So imagine if you're only 1.5 lions, it's not a good idea to enter into a massive battle because you could injure yourself even more. So I wonder if they just went, hey, listen, okay, we're actually going to retreat. My brother over here is not fit enough to fight, and it's not going to be a fair battle. So they moved out and into Kruger, and I think they hang around Jock Safari Lodge, if I'm not mistaken. I would like to go in and find them one day. And then the Charlestons will have been there ever since, and now they've also moved out completely and have been roaming around the Kruger National Park, which is interesting because they've left the entire Southern Pride now they're on their own. So there's a spot for many lions to come in, and there are many young males around that area coming in from the eastern side and then pushing into the southern Sabi sand. So hopefully at some point there'll be a new coalition of lions that move in there, because I think if the Charleston males aren't up for it and have left the Southern Pride ladies alone, then I think it's only fair that a bigger coalition comes in and sort of stakes their claim. They're a lovely pride too. I love the Southern Pride. So I'm not sure what's going on. I think on my next holiday, I haven't decided yet. I'd like to go down there and try and have a look around for those lions. The only problem is Southern Kruger is so busy, and as you know, I don't like to flock where the crowds go. So that's the only thing. Well, now it would be horrendous. I wouldn't go into the national parks at all because it's school holidays, and then there's just cars everywhere because everybody loves to go on a safari. I don't blame them. So we'll give Kruger a skip. I only go when it's not school holidays and when it's quiet. Okay, let's go in here. Nothing, absolutely no tracks. The odd hyena track running around here. It's exceptionally quiet this morning, and I can't go to the dam either and sit and watch the mist and the water, which is a bit sad. Let's see which birds we've got here. We've seen starlings. What else can we spot? Dear Watch, you said, if I could, which animal would I like to play with? Probably an elephant. I would love to go up to the David Sheldrick. They've got a massive elephant sanctuary. I would love to go and see the elephants up there. They rescue orphaned elephants, or elephants that have been poached or if they've been injured and things like that. It's really quite amazing. And so I'd like to go and see them. We're gonna have to go down this way because we can't go down there. I actually don't know where this road goes. We'll just drive it for a little bit. So that would be really nice. I don't know, I just think that they're so affectionate, elephants. We see the way that they're the bond between a mom and an elephant calf is so special. I can only imagine how they would sort of imprint on you. Would be really fantastic. Now Herbert's sitting in final control, and he says that he would like to be a monkey. That's actually quite a good one, Herbie. Can you imagine bouncing about those trees? That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I think if you were to be if you could play with a monkey for a day, imagine if you could be a monkey. That would be really cool. But playing with a monkey would be very sweet too. I've actually held one when I was much younger. Family friends of ours had a vervet monkey. I think they had a fire on their house, around their house, and one got lost from its mom. It was very sad. and then they raised it. It was very naughty. But yes, I'd like to play with an elephant if I had the opportunity. Maybe even a hyena. It could be quite cool too. But of course, I don't want to play with any of those animals, because as soon as you have any human interaction with these animals, it becomes very difficult to try and rehabilitate them and put them out in the wild. So I'm not a fan of it. But that's of course just my personal opinion. You don't have to believe my opinion. You can have your own. Megan, you'd like to be a bird. I think anybody would want to be a bird for a day. It must be amazing to have that, to be able to fly. I think it would be very special. Sure, it's very quiet here. I think we're actually going to have to move off of Chitwa. There's nothing going on this morning. We might start heading back towards Djuma then. Let's go up here. Whee! Over the bumps. No impala. There really is nothing. And yesterday this area was filled with animals. There were lots of birds. Leopard tracks. But when are you from? Just want to check here. I know this road doesn't get driven very often, so these tracks that I'm looking at could be quite deceiving. Maybe we can find some really nice clean ones. Maybe last night. The ground is not very clear. It's not very soft. Yeah, it softens up slightly, so we'll have another look. These look like female leopard tracks. Let me show you. Are you going to laugh at me because it was laundry day and I have no more long pants, so I have to have my blanket on, which I've tucked in like a skirt because I'm so cold. Where did my leopard tracks go now? Here they are. If you look over here, it might be very difficult to see. Now the sand is almost too soft, but there's the tracks here, the pad, then the toes. Now there's quite a bit of this sort of, what would you call this? These granules that are inside the track, so it's not a particularly clean track. It doesn't look like something has just walked here, so maybe it's from last night, but it definitely looks like an adult female. This track's going, which way are you going? I have to find them now. Going here. Just want to go up a little bit further. I think they go out and off of the traverse. I think they go down that way. I don't know whose footprints they could be. There's so many different leopards and things roaming around. I think my blanket's about to fall out and underneath my big jacket. I must look like a snowman today because I have got about 10 jerseys on underneath my big puffy jacket. I need to try and get in. Whoo! Cover my ankles up so they don't freeze. Now we've got to plug that in. It's not very easy to do very simple small tasks with gloves on. Thanks Megan, you love my skirt? Okay, well we'll see, maybe we'll do a loop around and figure out where this road goes and try and find this female leopard. I'm going to send you across to Ali. She's been off the car tracking lions and I'm sure you can't wait for an update.
Well, it seems like we have found the place where the lions have gone down for a drink on the dam, just on the southern side of the dam, and then they've carried on what it seems like going west. So I have a feeling that maybe these two were trying to go where we had the tracks for that other one, but I can't see any more tracks here on the road. So I want to go check around Treehouse Dam, see if perhaps those lions have met up somewhere in there, because the block in between the two dams, it's very thick and there's a very big drainage line in between them that makes everything a bit more complicated. So, and obviously I cannot leave Taylor all by herself, so I can't go off walking and walking and walking, but hopefully they'll be somewhere close enough where we can find them. I am still counting on that. And slowly but surely we're making our way to Treehouse Dam. So we're going to check all the roads around here, and if they've been on a road, we will be able to pick it up. Now, it seems like this is definitely not the place that they came to, and often they've been weaving and they come up and then they go down and so forth and so on. Yeah, it seems like we have got a little grey go-away bird there on the road, and maybe we can have a look at. No, no. Alright, well, there it goes, flying away. Thank you for posing a bit more beautifully for us. I haven't had a look at them in a while. And you're looking so happy and warm, not like the other day when you were misty and wet. Beautiful. Now, updates from the radio and the general chatter around here. It seems like we've had one male lion that's gone onto Manyeleti, and they are... Well, we know that two of them at least were on Djuma sometime during the night. So I wonder if perhaps this was not the one that Taylor had going straight north. And I know that possibly then another one is somewhere with the sticks on Arathusa. Now, let me carry on here with this search, with this tracking, see if maybe there are any tracks that have come across. Because if they came from Twin Dams and they carried on in this direction, then they should come out here at some point. Suppose you're wondering how many lionesses and cubs in the Styx pride. It's 3 females as far as I know, and they had 6 cubs, but I think they were just brand 2 new ones added onto their pride. So I think might be 8 cubs in total at the moment. We haven't been able to see them because they have been spending time in properties that unfortunately we cannot go to, but I think that was the last update that I got, that they had 2 brand new cubs with them. Alright, no tracks on here. Right. Michael, you're wondering which coalition has the largest territory in the Sabi San. Well, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure which one is deemed to have the biggest one. I know the Birminghams are a force to be reckoned with, and they pretty much rule all of the northern Sabi San. And I think, well, the Majingalans used to rule around this area, but now they've gone a bit further south, and they seem to just stick around Londolozi and that general area. So, roundabout there, I suppose the Mapochos are the ones that are the most well known, and unfortunately it's a coalition that no longer exists, as far as I know. But they had a massive territory, and they were just known for being incredibly aggressive lions and very, very powerful. But I think our Birmingham boys up here have been doing well. They do dominate about 3 different prides in this area. The Styx, the Torchwood prides, and then of course our beloved Nkuhumas. Alright, lions. You need to start cooperating with me. Let's see. On Mamba Road. Able, come in. Can you just keep an eye out on that road? See if perhaps once you guys start getting closer to the Malawati, if you can pick up on any Ngala and Konzo that side. Thank you. Alright, so there's somebody else that's coming onto the property, which is good because for now it's just pretty much us down here, which makes it a bit slower. But, good, somebody else is going to check one of the roads where they could have potentially gone off to. And that's going to make it easier. What is that track there? That's no lion. April, you're wondering if the cats are used to the humans driving around. Yes, they are used to us walking around. You see, a lot of the cats in this area, they've been approached since they were cubs. So they know to look for, well, they know to ignore us pretty much because the vehicles don't do anything to them. We just drive around, we don't hurt them, but we also don't feed them. So they get very used to these trucks driving close by to them. And obviously we also give them enough space to feel comfortable and never feel threatened by the vehicle. And this tourist commercial operation where we have been following cats in this particular area has been going on for about maybe 50-60 years, so it's generations and generations of lions just getting used to us driving close to them. Let's see. Seb, can you tell me what those tracks are on your side? Hyena. Alright, hyenas. Alright, we're gonna have a look around here, and if this does not work, we're gonna go back to those old tracks and check the Molawati as well. So far it seems like not too many tracks around here. Ah, Steenbok! You stay there, don't run anywhere, let us have a look. Nah, of course it ran away. Sorry, I wasn't too quick to spot it. And then of course Steenboks are a small species of antelope. The smallest one that we get in this area. They're of a bright reddish color, almost orangey color, and they're very skittish, so they normally just run away from us. And I thought this one was going to let us have a look, but not really. It just ran away. Oh, lots of little birds around here. Natalie, you're wondering if I could talk to some of the animals, what would I say? Well, it depends. Like, can I talk to them for quite a while? Am I able to speak to the animals all the time, or is it just one question that I can ask? There's a little crested barbet. I can make the rules. Alright, well, if I could talk to any animal, I think I would like to speak to lions. Funny enough, lions or elephants, and just be able to talk to them all the time. Lions, because sometimes I would like to find out what the dynamics in their populations are and why they do certain things that they do. And obviously I would like to go tracking for them and just going, where are you? And they would be able to answer with a roar. So ideally, we've got a very shy crested barbet. And then elephants, because I reckon it would be so much fun being able to speak to all the little ones. So I think lions and elephants would be my choice. Beautiful little crested barbet being too shy behind this branch, and I think that if I move we're gonna scare it away. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, we're going to leave this barbet with its beautiful tail feathers and head towards Treehouse Dam, which is not too far. Maybe we'll see some more lions tracks or more beautiful little birds that are able to cooperate with us a little bit more. Not here. Well, I can see the dam already, so I assume we're going to be there in the next 2 minutes or so. Okay, more hyena tracks here. We have reached the dam now. Let's see what's around here. Going down, going down. and up into the dam we go. I wonder if Scuba Steve the hippo is still around here, or if he's just decided to move up somewhere else, perhaps another big dam somewhere around this area. Now it seems to be a bit more populated than last time we came checking for birds in this dam. Seems like on the shore there's a starling drinking some water. I think here. Here we go. There's a starling. A Cape Glossy starling, it seems. Very beautiful colors and drinking a bit of water. And then the one that we saw earlier on, that was one of the plovers. Ah, aren't you beautiful? We've got the two of them there. The three-banded plover and the starling, which is a lot more birds than what we had yesterday morning when we came with Gert, and there was nothing. Not even one blacksmith plover around here. It's looking quite beautiful with the reflection of the water of those two little birds. Ah, and now we've only got the reflection of the starling. That was quite cool. The starling and the tree. Judy, you're wondering if we have pin-tailed whiters. Is that correct, Megan? We do. We actually saw a female of a pin-tailed white about 2 days ago. I can't remember now if it was in the afternoon or the morning. But yeah, we do have them around here. They're not as conspicuous as the males are during the breeding season when they have those massive, beautiful long tails. But they do occur in this area. I love it how plovers move around. They're just so funny. Their little legs like that. Very beautiful. Ashes one, you're wondering if there are any crocodile in this water. Well, in this particular dam, not that we know of. Crocodiles may come in and out, but pretty safe because I don't think I've ever seen one in here. I've only seen a hippo in here every so often, and that is it for dangerous animals that live in the water. I have seen lots of leopards around this area, but funny enough, no tracks for them today. And then, of course, the Egyptian geese. Thought I heard some impala's alarm calling. I think I'm making that up. Beautiful Egyptian gills. Puts its head down, filters through the water to get the nice particles that are floating in the water, and that's what it's going to be eating. I think there might be a bit of... No, I thought it was maybe a bit of grooming going on, but no, definitely just feeding. And just floating around. Alright, I think we are going to leave this very peaceful setting and carry on with our tracking adventure, see if perhaps we can pick up on any more tracks coming on this way. But while we do that, let's go to Taylor, who's managed to find her favorite animal.
Well, Ellie, that's one thing that you and I definitely have in common, and it's probably why we get along so well, is because we both have an immense love for these grey giants. Now we've got a whole herd of elephants here. She's marching off. I couldn't tell you exactly how many I think are actually here. Most of them have started feeding off back down towards Central. But this is just some of the herd just on the right. The bulk of them are actually down below us, but we can't get a clear view of any of them, unfortunately. They're all in the thickets. So we're just going to wait patiently and see where these fellas go. Now pause. You're actually wanting to see some elephants today? Well, that's good. here we go. Here they are. I've been trying to find elephants now. Obviously, we had that elephant bull yesterday, not for very long though. And we were trying to have a look for some. Both Ali and I have been looking. Oh, that's great. Look at that. We keep getting amazing shots of animals lining up in threes. It's quite beautiful. So yes. So it's great that they're back. They seem to have come from the east. So maybe our luck with elephants is going to get better. And hopefully they'll stick around for this afternoon so that we can try and find them again. But they're very busy. They're moving. They're feeding. This car, I think, has initiated and told everyone, right, everyone at the back, hurry up now. You're taking a bit of time. Like I said, the rest of the herd has actually moved off and into the thicket. Now, how cool is that? Crossing just in front of us. Very relaxed. They don't seem to be too bothered. There's a young bull just to the right. We'll see if he's going to give anybody any trouble. He's at that age where he should start tormenting the rest of the herd. But very, very nice. I think these last ones are 3 bulls. No, there's a cow up ahead as well. The 2 closest to us are bulls. So they're tailing. This must be the end of the herd. Let me go up a little bit further forward because we're going to lose them. If they go into this drainage system, we'll have to wait a little bit because they do seem to be doing a lot of feeding. Hopefully they'll pop out onto Central around Inyala Road a little bit later. A little bit later. Later is not a word. A little bit later is what I was actually trying to say. Hello, youngster. How are you, elephant? This is so beautiful. And I love spending time with these animals. It is the greatest thing to do out on safari, is spend a few hours watching these beauties go about their day. It's very, very special. They're hungry. They're exceptionally hungry today. Not stopping for long. Grabbing a trunk full, eating on the go. Perhaps they've got somewhere they need to be. An arrangement with other elephants. I'm not sure why they're in such a hurry. I'm trying to figure out what they're eating. Some of them are eating grass, and then they're eating buffalo thorns. Now they're surrounding the silver cluster leaves. Oh, she is. There's one cow that is eating on the silver cluster leaf. We'll go up a little bit further forward. There's lots of them. They're everywhere around here. Actually, maybe we'll look into this thicket. Let's see. Just poke our nose off the road slightly. There we go. And you can see them just feeding around here. They actually are feeding on some of the woody plant species. Now, a question from Julia this morning, and that question is, besides an elephant's tail being used as a fly swatter, is there any other use for them? Well, something that we do see is we often see the little elephants, the calves, holding on to their siblings or to their mother's tails as they walk about. So I suppose it's like a little follow me sign or a handle for a youngster. But other than that, it's the most effective fly swatter. I mean, elephants aren't just limited to their tails too. They use their trunks to swat flies, they use their ears. And well, if you're a male elephant, you can use your appendage to swat flies in places that you wouldn't be able to reach. Otherwise, you'll just have to go crashing through some shrubs to try and get the flies to fly off of your body. You can see the valley that they're going down into now, and it's very, very, very thick. There's also lots of little ones, but they're tucked away, hiding at mom's side. They don't seem to be revealing themselves too much to us, unfortunately. But as these ones start to disappear, we will go around and try and find some of the bulls that are just hanging off at the back. But they're in a hurry. So obviously the matriarch has got a point that she wants to get to at a certain time, and they do have this. They have to plan their days. I don't know when they're going to have a drink. Maybe they'll have a drink at midday today, probably around, it could be anywhere. They could go into the Mulwati and dig for water there, which would be the preferred option. Or they could also drink at Buffelshoek Dam. They could still turn and go slightly more north. It wouldn't surprise me if they changed direction. Otherwise, maybe twin dams. But it's difficult to try and pinpoint. If I was an elephant, I'd just go straight to the Mulwati and spend my days there. Lots of nice vegetation. Then, of course, when you're an elephant, you can dig for your own water, and it's nice and fresh. Not stale water that's been baking in the sun for weeks and weeks. I wouldn't want to drink that. You see that? They're eating right at the base of all the bush willows. We're slowly going to start seeing them feeding on things like the silver cluster leaves. that aren't necessarily as tasty. And I can't wait for them to start breaking trees and eating bark and eating roots. That's one of my favorite things. Oh, there's a little drongo that's flying around, having a great time that the elephants are here. Okay. I'm just trying to think where we're going to go from here. Let's go around the other side and see if we can get another view. Now, Natalie, you're wondering if there's a reason for all their wrinkly skin. Yes, there is. It's quite thick, firstly. It's quite nice. However, with that skin, with all those wrinkles, those crinkles and folds, it helps create surface area. Here's a little one here, a young bull. We'll watch him in the lovely morning light. So they're able to, of course, with all those different folds in their skin, it helps keep them cool, surprisingly, because the shadows fall in between the little wrinkles. So it helps cool them down. But again, I'm sure it also helps them to protect themselves from thorns. Their skin is very, very thick, except around their ears. That's the thinnest part of skin on their body. And that's often why we see elephants with holes and various shapes in their ears, because that skin is so susceptible to being caught on a thorn and just tearing. Wonder which road they're going to go on. Abel's got the same idea as me. He says he also wants to try and go around, so we'll let Abel go around and see if he can maybe figure out where he's going to get a good spot, and then we can always head that way. We'll stick with these bulls at the end of the herd for now, because the rest of them have completely disappeared down into this wooded area. There's lots of different trees here, my goodness, for them to feed on. Now, Michael, you're wondering if a cow gets separated from her herd, would she join another one? Maybe. Though I have seen it before where different families of elephants come down to a watering hole. Now, whether that's just because they were competing for water, I'm not sure, but they're not necessarily always friendly to other elephants. They love the individual members within their herd, and during the dry seasons they do come together. But they're not necessarily doing a lot of socializing with other elephants other than their own herd. So maybe, elephants are intelligent enough and they've got just an amazing social structure that they would maybe accept something. Sorry, the spider web is bothering me. I have to take it off. Come here, spider web. It's gone now. So they might. I've never seen it happen though. It wouldn't surprise me again though. But I wouldn't want to actually see something like that. It would be terrible if an elephant got separated from a herd. Can you imagine how distressed she would be? They've all now disappeared. Can you believe that? It's a big herd of elephants too. We'll follow Abel and go around. We might get them again. Let's see. Whew, that's a bump. We better slow down for that one. Okay, well, we'll go around. We'll keep just driving about, seeing if we can get another view of these elephants. We might have to play the patience game. So I'm going to send you across to Ali in the meantime, who's still trying to track the big cats.
We are, and they're pulling a sneaky on us. It seems like I have managed to recruit Herbie to come and give us a hand. I think that not too many people are interested in seeing the big cats today, but I want to just also come and check down the Molowati, because we had, like I mentioned earlier, some Egyptian geese moving around here and making a bit of a racket. So I wonder if perhaps they haven't come down here as well. So we're gonna have another look and see if perhaps we can pick up on any more tracks. If not, then I'm gonna go back to Twin Dams and probably take a walk and just try to figure out a bit better where those tracks go off to. As they were going in that direction, so they were going west. So I'm not too sure if perhaps they changed their route at some point. But we're gonna find them later down somewhere here.
Oh no, those terrible gremlins, how dare they. Ali, good luck fighting them off. Alright, so we're just taking a little bumble now I'm not in any hurry because I know the elephants are going to take their time going through this drainage system. So I'm just bumbling, and eventually we're going to get back around that side. So we'll see if we can see any birds in the meantime. Maybe some southern ground hornbills. That would be nice to see. Otherwise, if we can bump into a cat too, that would be nice. I wouldn't say no to that. Lots of impala tracks around here and kudu footprints. We'll just keep going. I've disorientated myself. I don't even know what road I'm on anymore. Ooh. Don't I listen to the radio? No. Ooh. Mita, who is 8 years old, one of our young viewers, you're wondering which antelope would I not want to be? That's a tough one. I don't think I... Oh, I thought you said antelope. Sorry, Megan. Which animal would I not want to be? I'm going to go with a tortoise. The reason why I say tortoise, you're probably thinking that's completely random. But I love tortoises and they're great, but they can't get away very quickly. Now imagine not having speed on your side to be able to scurry off. Like, even a lizard has a better chance of escaping from a potential predator than a tortoise. Yes, a tortoise does have a hard shell to try and protect itself, but hyena teeth can go straight through that shell. Let's upset this Franklin. Let's have a look through there. You can see they're sitting on this termite mound, and you can hear the distressed sound that's coming from these birds. Sorry, Mita, I'll finish my answer just now. No, that's not where they are. We got them. Ah, yes, just a little bit higher. Let me roll. No, I can't roll anywhere. There's a little crested Franklin. Now that sound that they're making now is normally when they've spotted something and they're unhappy with it. That one looks quite happy. It's preening itself, so it couldn't have been too much of a threat. Maybe a raptor or something flew overhead a moment ago and that's what they were reacting to. Just up on the termite mound, scanning around. Maybe a little cat of some sort, a serval, a caracal, African wildcat. What are you looking at? Maybe there's a snake. Often when birds see snakes, they'll go closer to it. I've seen it with guinea fowl. No, I don't know what they've seen. I don't know what they're reacting about. They don't seem frightened to death. They just seem a little bit wary. Okay, that's alright though. So sorry, Mita, let me get back to my question for you. So the reason why I wouldn't want to be a tortoise is because it's basically just because of speed. And like I was saying, the hyena's jaws are powerful enough to crush through them. And if you're a little tortoise, even the raptors, crows, as well as certain bird species, predatory birds, will pick you up and take you up to the sky. So it's quite nice. You get a moment where you feel as though you're flying. And then you free fall to the ground, which is very sad, and they try and crack open their shells like that, and a lot of eagles do that. So the amount of times that I've also seen lions and leopards playing around with tortoises and rolling them around in their shells and leaving them turned upside down is frightening. So I would not like to be a tortoise. That would be the one animal that I think I'm going to give a skip. But I'd like to be lots of different animals. Okay, let's carry on going around. I don't know what those birds were having a fright about. They've stopped making a noise now, so they must be slightly more settled. Okay. Oh, we're on Battalier Road. That's where we are. I was so confused for a moment. I couldn't work out where we were, but now this makes a little bit more sense. We might bump into Ellie because we're going back down towards the Mulwati again. We'll wave at her. And then I'll hand her off some gremlin spray to get rid of those pesky things. Check down the Mulwati here. This is a nice spot in here. We can't ever get down in here with the cars. But it's so pretty. Lots of big jackalberries and tumbuerties. Elephants, elephants. Where are you going to go? You know what we might do? No, we can't. I keep forgetting that it's only on Mamba Road that you're able to take that little sneaky 2-track that goes right on the edge of the Mulwati. And then to that little pan. Who's walking here? Did I see anything, or were my eyes imagining tracks on the ground? They were imagining leopard footprints. Yeah, they were. No leopard tracks here. Okay, let's carry on. Whee! We have to go all the way around again and see if we can get them popping out, because there's no roads that go through to where those elephants were. Okay, down we go. I think we're going to have to go into the Mulwati. Yes, I think we're going to actually have to do that. Let's see if we can get any nice birds while we go through here. We'll have to go back up Mamba and try again. Elephant tracks here, but that looks like it's from yesterday. Looks like there was a bull that walked through here. Always lots and lots of elephant dung. So as we drive through, you'll see lots of sort of brown piles on the ground. That is all dung. They always come down to drink in this particular spot. We'll just do a nice little boat cruise. Check the tops of the trees. We can look for those black-collared barbets that I keep trying to show that keep evading me. They should be around here. Stay in the tracks, car. Rusty has a mind of its own. It seems to be doing a lot of this, even on the straight roads. Alright, let's go have a look. So this is maybe where Shongile and Hosana came from. Ooh, Megan, please can I have that question again? Sorry, I didn't actually get it at all. I just heard Lulu. Now Lulu, you're wondering if this is normal terrain or if this is affected by the drought. No, this is typically what it's like. It obviously looks quite dry now where I'm driving at the moment. It's just because I'm in a riverbed. So this is all sand. So during the rainy seasons, if we get enough rain or a big quantity of rain in a short amount of time, this will actually flow. It doesn't flow for very long, but the water table around here is great. You've got to go half a meter and you'll get beautiful fresh upwellings of water. The drought is actually, you can't really see the effects of the drought anymore because there's so much grass, which is really nice. But typically what will happen towards the end of winter, you'll see everything completely disappears. The ground out here, or the plants out here, are so reliant on water. They need lots and lots and lots of water. We've got a relatively high rainfall for this area. So without it, everything just completely dies. Most of the time, sorry, I was just listening. I think Abel's on his way out. I don't think he managed to relocate on those elephants either. So we're on Mamba now. We'll give it a bash. So it's normal for the grass to sort of start to disappear. Turn that off now. But it was bad at one point. You couldn't tell the difference between the roads and the open plains. It all just looked the same. It was all just sand. It was terrible. Okay, now we need to start checking around here, because this is the direction that the elephants were feeding in, towards Mamba Road, but I don't see any grey heads just yet. I think they're still quite far away from here. You know, they could just completely stop and feed for an hour or two, and then they might only pop out later this afternoon. That's also a possibility. Some hyena tracks here. Just gonna keep staring into the distance to the left. Yeah, it's a huge block where there aren't many roads. Ooh, this is a nice question. John, you're wondering what is my favorite thing about the Sabi sands? it's a tough one. I don't just have one favorite thing. I like everything. I like how dramatic the change of seasons are. That, you know, in summer everything is so lush and green, the open plains and the grass first comes through, it looks like you're on a golf course. And then coming into the winter seasons, when everything goes completely yellow and golden, you've got the most gorgeous colors, the autumn colors, and everything then disappears and all the animals start to come back again. So I like that. I like how many cats there are here. The leopard population is just unbelievable. It honestly is the greatest place to see leopards in South Africa. I mean, we've proven it time and time and time again. Even if we're not necessarily seeing a leopard where we can drive, you look at all the other lodges, Facebook pages, or, you know, Instagram accounts, you'll see that at least a handful of them would have seen leopards at some point. So they're definitely around. The lions give us great sightings too. And I suppose the elephant populations are really wonderful. So yeah, there's not one thing that I just love about the sands. I think it's just a bit of everything. The beautiful big rivers that you see down south with the massive fig trees growing about them, or the rock figs growing on the granite sort of rocky outcrops. Those are beautiful too. That's quite nice to see. Yeah, there's so much. And the bird life, oh my goodness, let's not get started about the bird life. We're lucky with all the different types of sort of vegetation that we are able to sustain a variety of different birds, which is nice. And it's so different wherever you go. There's just not one spot that's the same. It's all completely different. The north to the south, it's amazing how it changes over such a short space of, or such a short area. It's amazing. Anyways, Ali's managed to find some signal now. I know she has been searching hard for those lions. I wonder if she's going to be patient enough to continue searching. Let's go find out.